It is baffling to me that I am sitting in front of you right now saying the words, I'm here for January's 2021 plan with me. Like, what? Time is just going so fast, I can't handle it. Before we get into the planning goodness today though, if you haven't already, I highly recommend going to check out my 2021 bullet journal setup where I introduce you to Heartland and show you some really fun pages. It will be linked in the description box below. With January spreads, I carried over a lot of those textures and colors from the 2021 setup, but I also wanted the spreads themselves to be a little bit more scaled back and easy to recreate. So I think there's something for everyone in this video and I'm pumped to share them with you. Make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already, because I put out Plan With Me videos out every single month, and I have a goal setting video going out before the end of the year. So if you want a little inspiration for your goal setting process, you're not gonna wanna miss that, and the notification bell ensures that you will not. So, you know, it's worth checking out, but Heartland is ready to get the show on the road, so I'm gonna let the pages take over. I hope you guys enjoy. These first two spreads are going to be the home to my first month at a glance for 2021 and some habit trackers. To spice this page up, I ended up using my Silhouette Cameo 4 to cut out this really beautiful craft paper J. I just think it looks really sophisticated on this spread, so I think it was a nice little added touch. And I also went in with a stamp, this calendar stamp that I got from Michaels. It will be linked below, as well as links to all of the things you're seeing me use in today's video, like I always do. I used it with white ink to create the white little mini calendar. I did have to go back in with my white jelly roll to just strengthen it a bit and also add an extra little block because January has 31 days and this calendar, with the way the month laid out, didn't have enough room for it. Below the calendar is a section to highlight important dates. I make a point of adding these sections whenever I do a mini calendar spread so that the month at a glance still has proper function and it isn't just something that looks pretty. I could have stopped here, but I figured I'd sprinkle in some shape confetti at the top because, you know what? It's the start to a new year, the first month of a new year. I can't think of a more fitting time to bring the shape confetti into the mix. I used a black Micron pen to create the grids for my habit trackers. I created a habit tracker for hydrating, one for moving my body for 20 minutes, and another one for 60 seconds of deep breathing. I think I've been doing Yoga with Adrienne's 30-day yoga challenge for a few years now, and she's doing another one at the beginning of 2021, and yoga is just one of my favorite ways to move my body and have those deep breathing moments. So it's an opportunity for me to kill two birds with one stone and challenge myself at the beginning of the year to really get in that zone. So that is something that I will be doing. I'll have her channel linked below in case you want to investigate that 30-day yoga challenge a bit more. And just as a fun fact for you, the cursive writing at the bottom of the page and on the white craft paper strip are containing Taylor Swift lyrics from Folklore and Evermore, because like I said in my last video, I'm a little bit obsessed. The shape confetti vibes are continuing with these next two pages. I actually used my iPad and Procreate to draw out some shape confetti and then used again my Silhouette Cameo 4 cutting machine to cut out the shapes on some green cardstock. I could not be more pleased with how this turned out and definitely inspired to experiment more with my cutting machine, but this is absolutely something you could also draw out. That's the beauty of shape confetti, is it's a pretty simple one to draw. The left page is a dedicated area to expand a bit more on any goals I wrote down in the spread that I showcased in my last video. There's a place to write down a deadline for the goal, and then below that a spot to break down the goal into smaller, less intimidating steps so that I actually have a laid out plan for achieving the goal and making it a reality. And again, I'm a big believer in deadlines, so next to each step, you have a section to also write down a date to complete that step. page, I drew out 3 columns to be a spot to write down new recipes I want to try throughout the year. The first column is for breakfast and drinks, the second is for meals, and the third is for desserts. I am always coming across goodies I want to try making on Pinterest, so it'll be nice to have a spot to write them down. If you want to see my food board on Pinterest, you can check it out by clicking the link in the description box below. Give me a follow. I also have a dedicated bullet journal inspiration board if you ever want a place to get page ideas for your planner. You'll notice that for my drop shadows, I used a black marker. It looks like a black regular Tombow, but it's actually Tombow's alcohol-based markers. They're their Pro Tombows, and let me tell you, I was very upset to see that it did bleed through. This was a tragic moment when I realized that this had happened. I hadn't tested this before. It's a new addition to my stationery collection. Lesson learned, test your markers before you create a spread with it. But thankfully for this next spread, this budgeting spending tracker spread, I had already planned to use some paper on it. So it covered everything up. A 100% oopsie moment, but you know what? I survived to tell the tale, so we are moving on. After the chaos that is holiday spending, whenever January comes around, I become really sick and tired of money leaving my wallet, so a spending tracker becomes a welcomed addition to my planner. On the left page, I have a spot to write down a pretty basic budget for the month, a big total, and then below that, a quick breakdown of how that money should be divided between categories like food, home, clothing, beauty, and other. I created a table for keeping track of purchases. There's a spot to write down the date of a purchase, the item or store that I bought it, and then the total amount. Since I made it 2 columns, there's quite a few slots here for recording purchases, but this is definitely something that could be expanded into a 2-page situation. Ideally though, my spending will be much less this month, so I won't need all those slots, she said, hopefully, and with great desire to not make my wallet absolutely hate me in the new year. Vertical weekly spreads truly bring me so much joy, and for this weekly spread, I gave each day of the week a craft paper square to record the number of the day of the week. In size 08 to create the grid and then divide each section between the days of the week, and also within each day of the week to create a spot for writing down events at the top, to-do lists in the middle, and then at the bottom there are 3 little rectangles to write down a breakfast, lunch, and dinner meal idea. A cool touch I did with these square title blocks was writing out each number in cursive and then going back in with a white pen to add number confetti around it. So it looks like basic confetti when you just take a look at it from a glance, which ties it in nicely with the other spreads from the month. But I love that it's a detail you discover when you pay closer attention. I like this spread because I think it displays a lot of simple design elements that I use to add pizzazz in a non-time consuming way, because the spread is actually pretty basic at the core of it. It's just a vertical weekly layout that is in a grid style, but with elements like number confetti and changing the direction of your text and switching between cursive and print, you get this variety that makes it a little bit more special than, just a table. But I didn't have to invest too much time into creating it. So I think it's a fun one for that reason. Usually this is where I show my final page displays, but I actually went back to my spending budget tracker and felt like it needed something to tie it with the other spreads in this January plan with me. So I just quickly traced out a white leaf on some green cardstock, pasted it in, and added some more doodling with my black micron. And I think those little touches again brought it together and connected it with the other spreads in this month's layout. which spread from this first Plan With Me of the year was your favorite? I'm always curious to know, so let me know in the comment section. Fun fact, if you didn't already know, I have a weekly newsletter that I send out every single Monday morning, and the newsletters are all themed around something different each month. So January's newsletters are definitely going to be goal setting, starting healthy habits focus. And if you're looking for some inspo, something a little bright to start your Monday morning with, then that is something that you're going to want to sign up for. I'll have a link in the description box below. I also have some freebie PDFs that you can download, so I'll have those linked below. There's spending trackers and 50 bullet journal spread ideas and digital planning templates, so all that goodness, like I said, linked below. I got lots of exciting videos planned for 2021, so hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I'd love to hear what videos you'd love to see more of in the new year, because obviously I like to create videos that I enjoy creating, but also that you enjoy watching. So hearing your requests is always helpful, and I do keep track of them in my bullet journal. Harland will have a spot for all of the requests that you send in. I will see you all very soon with a new video, and until then, happy planning, everyone.